What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, we're going to be talking about Tesla. Just what a day it's having today. Not too much action, but we're going to go over that, and we're going to talk about what I'm looking for and how I think that Tesla is setting up for an amazing week this week. Now, before we get into this video, guys, I'd like to remind you, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for being here. Truly appreciate all the support, and let's get right into this technical analysis. Now, if you've been watching the overall market today, it's been pretty mediocre. We've been pretty much basing out on the Nasdaq, bringing up the Nasdaq, guys. This is the tech sector because Tesla seems to follow it lately, follows it a lot. So we need to gauge this based off of how Tesla is going to move for this week. So I've mentioned this to a couple of people now. I mentioned it in my last video. We're starting to base out right here. We're basing out on the Nasdaq, and when I say basing out, that means consolidation. That means that there's not too many sellers. It gets bought right back up, and then buyers, they're unable to push price through. So what I'm looking at is just this base forming right here and how that's bullish. A stock does two things, right? They either pull over, which is doing right now, or pull down. And right now we're pulling over, which is what you want to see. So I think tech is setting up for an amazing week. So right here we're basing out. So the whole conclusion behind this is set up for this move up this week. Now, I'm not going to get too excited just yet. I wanted us to get above this high right here. That's why I have my alert set right here. But once we do that, we're ripping. I do believe that's when we'll return back to this area. But first, we have to get above this high right here. So that's your main focus for this week. So how does that correlate to Tesla? Well, Tesla, it pushed up today, right? We were met with sellers around this 715 area, pushed down, and we had a little bit of a dip by this morning. Just the usual volatility in the morning, and then now we're back above this area that I've been talking about in my previous Tesla videos. So I've been eyeballing this 700 area. It's a psychological area, guys, just because it's an even number. It's a big number, $700. So we got rejected there before. Notice we've got rejection here before, so we know that's a true level. Even though it's a psychological level, we know it's a true level. Sellers have showed up here before. Showed up here, pushed up, showed up here. So we know sellers are here. Today, sellers came in. Sellers came in the middle part of the day, in the very part of the day. Sellers showed up and then pushed price down. But then what's happening right now? Buyers are present. Buyers are here and they're pushing the price up. This is what you want to see if you're bullish on Tesla, because we're now having that confirmation. So last week, just an amazing week with regards to it changing the trend. Right? We were in this apparent downtrend right here. It was visible. Anyone can see this. Then last week, we had just an amazing rally. I mean, it was breathtaking. It was just crazy how much we rallied. And then for pretty much the rest of the week, we just based out. Didn't have too much movement. But that was understandable after the huge movement we had on, I think this was either a Monday or Tuesday. It was one day where it was a monster rally. I think this was a 100-point day. Either way, though, it just based out. And now what we're looking to see is, the base was formed right here. You can clearly see the base. And now we're looking for the continuation. So I do believe what I want to see is first, Tesla get above 720. Once we get above that, then I do think we end the week in here. But that's all assuming that the overall market permits. Now, if the overall market is down, then obviously that's not going to happen. So I mentioned this. If the overall market tomorrow just shoots down to here, it's probably less likely that we do head up to here this week. But if we're just hanging out right here for the rest of the day, tomorrow, we have a green day. Now, I do think, at least for right now, we do end up here. So Tesla's obviously going to be affected by that. So what I'm looking for first is the push up to 720. See how we interact around that level. Do we get rejection like we did right here? Or are there buyers here? There's enough buyers here where they're like, hey, we want to push this price through, and sellers are just exhausted and they're unable to hold the price down. Now, that's a scenario I'm playing for just because how Tesla's been interacting around these levels. So I'm looking at first the push above 720. Obviously, that has to come first. And then what I'm looking for is that continuation, that confirmation, and pushing up in here. So once we get above that 720, the next area what I'm looking at, really we don't have any sellers until 742. 742 is that next level where there aren't any sellers. So over here, we had sellers right here, we had sellers right here, and then next day we gapped up. This time we got rejected. So what I'm looking at is the push up into here and then the confirmation. And when I say confirmation, I mean for it to just base out, kind of like what it's doing here. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to happen this week, it could happen next week, but I do think Tesla is bound for another move up. So the two levels you need to look out for, guys, is the basing out at 700, doing that right now. the push up to 720, getting above that, and then the push to 742. So those are the 3 levels you need to keep in mind, and that's all assuming the overall market permits it. Either way, I just want to make this quick video. Thank you guys so much for being here. Hopefully you did enjoy my technical analysis, and if you did, if you're a new viewer, consider hitting that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next video.